Hello. So today we will discuss a topic from database management system, and we were studying the SQL query. So in this lecture we are also going to study a new SQL query, so which is shown in the screen. So the SQL query means there are two relations or two tables there are given. Two tables are there. One name of the one table is student and another table name is performance. From the screen it is clear that in student table the table has only two columns, roll number and student name. So each so there are three rows in the table student, and in this table or relation student, the primary key is the roll number. Primary key is one of the attribute of the relation which is used to uniquely identify every row in a table. That means for a table, for each row or for each record, the primary key of every row has only one unique value. The two rows having the same value in primary key, that is not possible. For example, in student table, roll number is a primary key, and if we see every row in this table, for each row the roll number is different or unique. So using roll number we can identify uniquely every row in the relation or table student. For example, roll number 1 and the name of that student is Raj. Roll number 2, the name of the student is Rohit, and roll number 3, the student name is Raj. It is clearly seen from the table that roll number, every row in this table, the roll number for every row in this table, the roll number has only unique value for every row. There is no duplicate rows in this table student, so that two rows have the same roll number. That is not the case. But if we see the column student name, we can see the Raj. This for two rows have identical name Raj, but two students are different because their roll numbers are different. So to uniquely identify each row in a table, primary key is used, which is unique for every row in the table. And for other attributes which are not primary key, in that cases the more than one rows can have the same value for that particular table, for that particular column or attribute which is not a primary key. So that is the student table, and another table performance is given. So in this table there are three columns or three attributes: roll number, course and marks, which specify that which roll number has taken which course, and that course what marks he or she has obtained. So it gives information, performance table gives information about this, that which student has got marks in which course. That information is obtained from the table performance. For example, and also another thing, for every table there will be some primary key, and in this table performance, the primary key, two columns are contributing to the primary key, and that column names are roll number and course. That means to uniquely identify each row, the combination of roll number and course, that will be unique for every row in this table performance. For example, roll number 1, the course taken by roll number 1 is math. So roll number and course, the combination of two columns or two attributes, here is the primary key for the table performance. So roll number 1 has obtained marks 80, in course mathematics. Again, roll number 1 has another course English, and at that course he has obtained marks 70. Similarly, roll number 2 has obtained 75 marks in course mathematics. Roll number 2, if we see below records, there is another entry for roll number 2, and he has obtained marks 65, and the course is physics. Then roll number 3 has taken 2 courses, English and mathematics. In English he has obtained marks 80, and mathematics also roll number 3 has obtained marks 80. So this is the information that is being given in this database. There are 2 relations, student and performance. Now one SQL query is given. The query is written that select s.student name sum in bracket p.marks from this. So if we see the structure of the SQL query, how it is written, I already discussed about that in select clause. What the result we are trying to obtain, that columns appear in the select clause. So here, the column has taken from 2 different tables, because see the select s.student name. What is s? Now if we see the from clause, there are written select s.student name sum of p.marks from student s. Student is the table name and it is renamed as s, and performance is a table name which is renamed as p. So in select clause, student name is taken from the student table which is referred here as s, and p.marks, here p is the table performance which is mentioned in form clause at performance p. Table performance has been given name p, and p.marks from table p or performance, the marks is taken, and we have done a summation, a mathematical function which is summation of all the marks, sum p.marks, and the marks are given in table performance or p. So in where clause the condition is given, that means we are retrieving the information which is related to 2 tables, which are, one of the table is student which is referred here as s, and another table is performance which is referred as p. And this 2 table, there is a joining relationship. That means we are linking these 2 tables, student and performance, on what basis? Now, in the basis of roll number, because that is the only attribute or only column that is common to both of the table. So when these 2 tables are joined, then for identical values of roll number of this from this 2 table, these 2 tables are being merged. That means they are joined. For example, I'm telling here, I'm writing here. How this is merged or how this is joined? This is joined. These 2 tables, student and performance, they have only one column common, which is roll number. So based on the identical value of roll number, these 2 tables can be joined. For example, roll number 1 and student's name is Raj, then course is mathematics, then got marks 80. Similarly, when roll number 1, student name, then course English, obtained marks 70. That means student roll number 1 from student table, that is going to the linked with the row in performance tables for which the roll number is identical. So this 2 table, roll number 1 from this 2 table, from this table student is merged with the rows or records that has the roll number 1 in the performance table. Similarly, roll number 2 is student is Rohit, and from this performance table I am seeing that we can see that roll number 2 has course mathematics and obtained marks 75, and course physics he has taken and obtained mark 65. So in this way, taking the common column, then taking the identical value for each of the row in this, for each of the values in this two columns, in this column, these two tables are getting merged or getting joined. So that is mentioned in this where clause, how this two table can be related with each other, because they are being joined, and the joining is done on what condition basis? Now S dot roll number equals to P dot roll number. Joining is done based on the common column, and that common column, the row for which the value of the roll number is identical, that rows are getting merged. For example, when we write that select S dot student name, or then some here a mathematical function has been applied that we will write later. First of all, suppose query is like that: select S dot student name, P dot marks from student S, performance P, where S dot roll number equals to P dot roll number. Only these three lines if we give, then what the output or what the table output is given in the form of the table, what the output we obtain, that we will first see. Then after that we will see the next clause, group by clause have been used, group by S dot student name. So group by clause we will deal later. First of all, we want to give output of a table. In that table there will be student name and P dot marks and the marks, and this student name is taken from the table student, and P marks has been taken from the table performance, and these two tables are getting joined. So joining is done, which is written in a where clause, where, and the where clause it is written S dot roll number equals to P dot roll number. So if we write only these things, then what is the output is obtained from that SQL query, that we will see first. So I'm going to write the query, that is the query original query is that select S dot student name, select S dot student name, then mathematical function sum has been applied on P dot marks. P is the table name, performance, and to get access a column in this table P, a dot is used here, P dot marks. Then whatever the marks we are obtaining, we are doing the summation of that. So for that is the first line. Then C student S dot student name. So what is S and what is P, that is not given anywhere in the question, so I have to mention it as the table, which table it corresponds. S here is the table name, dot student name is the column of that table. So what that is, there is no relation like S, but we are renaming what is given in the question, that from which table, na student, and it is being referred here as S. Then P is referred by the table performance, which is referred here as P. Now these two tables, they are being joined based on which? Now based on their common column. The common column is roll number, and that common column which the rows that will be joined, which has the identical value in the column roll number. So the condition will be, join condition will be written in the where clause. So it will be where S dot roll number equals to P dot roll number. Then group by clause is used, group by S dot student name. So that is the original query that we are going to we are studying here. But first of all, we just set make this, we don't bother about the group by clause, we will deal with it later. So first of all, we will part with this query. So when there is a mathematical function, then group by function is group by clause is used. So if we don't use group by function here, then we cannot write a mathematical function sum here. So for the simplicity, we are just writing p dot marks. Thus we are not applying any mathematical function. So for the simplicity, we are just dealing with that. Select s dot student name, p dot marks from student s, performance p, where s dot roll number equals to p dot roll number. So first of all, we will see when we join this table how it will look. So in student table, what we have seen, that student table, there was two column. One is roll number, which was the key or primary attribute of the table student. Then there was student name, and in this student table there was three rows. Roll number 1, his name is Raj. Then roll number 2, his name is Rohit, and roll number 3 also has the same name, Raj. So that was in the student table. And what was the columns in performance table? The performance table, the attributes were roll number, that is one attribute, then codes, and then it was marks. Then it was marks. So what are the values was there that from the question we are seeing the value that roll number 1 has course taken course mathematics and he has obtained marks 80. In second row of performance table, roll number 1 has taken course English and he has obtained marks 70. Similarly, roll number 2 has taken course mathematics and obtained marks 75. Then roll number 3 has taken course English and obtained marks 80. Then roll number 2 has taken another course which is physics and obtained marks 65. Roll number 3 has taken another course mathematics and which has obtained marks 80. Now, so that is the rows in the table performance. Now what we are doing now, we are starting only this first three lines: select clause, from clause, and where clause. So actually these two tables, student and performance, that has been joined based on common column which is roll number, and in this common column they are joined based on the equal value in this column roll number. So roll number 1 in this student this record in this student table will be merged with these two records in this performance table, because for these two records roll number is identical with this roll number, both are 1. So after joining, if we join these two tables, student and performance, based on common column roll number and based on their equal value, so what will be the output table after join, that we will see. So the result table will be like that if I see the result table, there will be suppose in that result table it contains all the columns or all the attributes from the student table and all the columns or all the attributes of the performance table. So in result table there may have there may have 4 columns: roll number, student name, then course, then marks. Okay, একটু short. So roll number, that is one of the column, and another column is student name, another column is student name, then course is taken from this performance table, course column name, then next column is marks. So that when we join these two tables, these columns, that is all columns from two tables, is appearing here. Now how they will be joined? Now this roll number 1, student name is Raj, is merged with these two records in this table performance, because they have the same roll number 1. So how this will appear? So this in result table, these two rows will be appear with having this value linked with this value from the student table. So roll number 1, student name is Raj, course is mathematics, which is taken from this, and marks is 80. Then again in result table there will be roll number 1, next row, and the student name is Raj. Then it is joined with this record of the performance table, that is course English, and marks is 70, because these two records have same roll number value. So course will be English and the marks will be 70. Then there are no such records in this table performance which has the roll number 1. So roll number 1, this records of the student table is getting joined with this two records from this performance table. Next roll number comes 2 and the student name is Rohit. Now here this row and this row have same roll number value, so 2 Rohit will be merged, will be joined with this 2 rows from the performance table. So what will be so how many rows will appear in the result table after joining? For roll number 2, now these 2 rows will be there. So I am writing here 2 roll number, student name is Rohit, and the course is here mathematics, and marks obtained is 75. Then next record will have same value, roll number 2, student name is Rohit, and here the course is physics, obtained marks 65. So physics and obtained marks 65. So if we see that, this record, this row in the student table for which the roll number value is 2, that is merged with this 2 records in this performance table because they have the same value in the roll number. So that 2 rows will appear in the result table for roll number 2. Now there are no other rows in this table performance which has roll number 2. So for roll number 2, that is over. Now we will come to roll number 3 and the name is Raj. So for this roll number 3, which appears in these 2 records in the performance table, so this roll number 3 and name is Raj, that is merged with this 2 records of the performance table. So after joining, 2 rows will come for roll number 3. So what will be the output? In output table there will be roll number 3 and the name is Raj, and here we see the 3 has taken course English, obtained marks 80. So here I will write English and the marks obtained is 80. Then again next row, roll number 3 and Raj, and here this row has roll number 3, taken course math, obtained marks 80. So here that will be marks, roll number 3 whose name is Raj, taken course maths and obtained marks 80. So after joining, this will be the table. In table for every, after how how this two table has been merged, that I have shown here. Okay, now after this it is okay, but now we are, so if we write select s dot student name, then s dot roll number, then performance p dot course, then p dot marks from student is performance p where s dot roll number equals to p dot roll number, then we get the this table after joining. But our query is not complete. Here is group by clause s dot student name. That means whatever the output or this table we are getting, now we are doing the grouping of these rows from this table, and the grouping will be based on which column? Now s dot student name, based on student name, then for which the student name is identical, so they will be in one group. On student name, where the student name are same, so that rows will be grouped, and will give you will be treated as one row. We will be treated as one row, and some mathematical function will be applied for that groups of rows, and that one value will be obtained. So here on which column we are doing the group by clause? Now s dot student name. So what we will see here in this table, in student name, Raj roll number, though roll number 1 is name is Raj and roll number 3 is different, but the name is same Raj. But when we are grouping based on student name, so the same name, the rows for the same name, that rows will be grouped. And what after grouping, what we'll do, we will do the summation of that marks for that particular row. For those groups of row, we have to do the summation of marks. So what will happen? So when we apply group by clause, after group by, what the result we are obtaining? We are obtaining only two column name, s dot student name and sum of p dot marks. So two columns will appear here. So what will be that? One is student name will appear in output table, and last is sum of marks. So group by means whatever the rows are extracted, then based on the same student name, we are doing the grouping of those rows. And what the grouping we are doing? We are doing the summation of marks for that rows, for which rows the student name are same. So here this row Raj, second row Raj, and here Raj and Raj, these four rows are grouped into one row. So student name, here it will come Raj, and we are doing the grouping. We are doing what we are doing by the grouping using group by clause. We are doing the summation of marks for that groups of rows. So for this four rows, the sum of marks means 80 plus 70 plus 80 plus 80. So that summation value will appear in the corresponding sum of p dot marks for this student Raj. And then what are the values are there in student name? What are the group by under which name that will be grouped? Now Rohit. So in Rohit that will be another group, and that for that group we will do the summation of marks for that two rows which are grouped into one single row in the output table. So marks is here 75 and 65. So here in output table, next row will come for Rohit, and we will do the summation of that 75 and 65. That summation value will appear here. So in output table there will be only two rows. After group by, all the rows which have the Raj, that will be one group, that will be grouped into one, and other two rows which are named Rohit, that two rows will be grouped into one row. And grouped means that values, what we are doing here, we are after grouping, for grouping we are doing the mathematical we are after grouping, we are applying the mathematical function summation on marks. So we are grouping and we are doing the mathematical summation of that marks for those rows which are grouped into one. So what was our question? So in output table, that will be student name Raj will be one row, and another row will be Rohit. But you can now you can ask that, see that Raj, both roll number 1 and roll number 3 has the same name, but as we are grouping on the column name student name, so that same value will be grouped, though have those Raj have different value in roll number 1 and 3, that we will not see, but because we are grouping under student name column. But instead of that, if we grouped it under roll number name column, then only this two rows will be grouped into one row, and this two marks will be added and will give a summation. Then this two row for which the roll number 2 is, for this two row, for roll number 2, that 75 and 65 will be added and we will get the summation. And for roll number 3, these two rows will be grouped into one, and these 2 marks will be added to get the summation. That means for each group we are applying the summation of marks, but here we are doing the group by or grouping based on student name. That's why there was only 2 rows is coming. But instead of that, if we done the grouping based on roll number, then there will be 3 rows, because there are 3 identical values in roll number. So this same value roll number will be grouped. So there are 3 identical values, so 3 rows will come for each group, because 3 identical value in roll number is there, and they are grouped. Their marks are we are doing the summation after grouping. But as we are doing the summation or grouping based on student name, though the roll number 1 and 3 are different, but the name as they are equal, so there will be grouping for all this for all those rows where the name Raj appears. So there will be only 2 rows after grouping. There will be only 2 rows in the output table. One row will be for Raj and another row will be Rohit. So that is our question. So that is our problem. So what was the question? The number of rows that will be returned by the SQL query. So SQL query, here we are getting only 2 rows. So number of rows that will be returned by that SQL query, which is in that group by clause is applied. So number of rows will be 2. Okay, thank you.